Hey everybody, welcome back to Beyond the Brochure. My name is Jared Weitrup. I am joined today, as always, by Ian Dawson, and we have a great guest for you today, David Timms. David, thank you for joining us.
It's a pleasure. Glad to be here.
Yeah, so tell us firstly a little bit about what you do here at Jessup, what your role is, and the programs that you're associated with.
So I'm Dean of our Division of Theology and Leadership. Been doing this for 3 or 4 years.
Cool.
That means I oversee our theology faculty and our School of Christian Leadership and the degrees that come under those two groups.
Yeah.
Sure.
Awesome. So what's the difference between Christian leadership and theology?
So we have degrees in both those areas, and I think I would say generally our theology and biblical studies degrees are for thought leaders, and our leadership degree is really for organizational leaders.
Okay.
It's not that one's better than the other. We need both, but every culture needs people who are thinking deeply and theologically and biblically. And they need people who can also work in the trenches and get the job done with a team of people. So it's leadership pervades the whole thing, but it's thought leadership and maybe organizational leadership.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Sure.
Awesome.
Yeah, what are some of the differences in, I guess, careers? I mean, realistically speaking, you could probably be a lead pastor at a church with either degree, but what would be some more distinct ones that we would maybe see?
Yeah, so the thought leadership, if you were doing biblical studies or theology, you might have a particular interest in writing, in becoming an academic, in teaching. On the other hand, if you were heading down the leadership route, you might be a senior pastor, an associate pastor, you might be looking at youth ministry, you could be looking at church or parachurch, non-profit. You could even be looking at business. We have students who aren't going into ministry at all, but going into business who do a leadership degree.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I love that. So, when you consider this program as a whole, obviously it's a really expansive one. Us being a private Christian university, we kind of built our roots on this. Give me an example of a couple of your favorite classes that you've taught within that division. I know I've been blessed enough to have been in a few classes with you, and I apologize for any and all mediocre work that I turned in during those years. But
we should do a final exam right now.
Yeah,
See how much you remember.
how much do you remember?
It'll be a quiz show. It'll be great.
Well, it's great because it shows the level of my academia and my spiritual life. So we're just going to skip that part.
All right. So my favorite classes aren't necessarily the ones I've taught.
Sure.
I think some of the courses I really love. I have taught, we have a course called Contemporary Discipleship.
Okay.
And we teach that to all students. I think that's a really foundational and great course for students, every student at the university. In the leadership area, we do courses on self-leadership and leading others and global leadership. And I don't teach those courses. I'd like to sit through them.
Yeah.
Just because leadership's often just about how to get people to do what you want. And we start believing that, no, you have to be able to lead yourself first. And so I love the structure of the curriculum and the people who teach it, and I'm sold out on it. I think it's great.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Those all sound like classes that no matter what you're going to do afterwards, it'd be like vital to know that information.
That's the point. That's exactly right.
I love that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's great.
Yeah.
And how do you guys, to just kind of build on that, I know one of the things that Jessup has is a built-in Bible and theology minor for every student that attends Jessup. What classes, I guess, how do you guys decide what classes are a part of that minor? What can students expect with that minor? And I guess just how do you build that out, deciding what's critical versus what's maybe more elective based?
That's a good question. We try and keep it at a high level because not everyone's going into local church ministry, right?
Right.
So we want people to have an introduction to the Old Testament, an introduction to the New Testament, just know when we talk about the Bible, what exactly is in there. And then we do a course, we call it Art of Interpretation. How do you open this thing without a great deal of fear and anxiety? How do you open up a passage and lead a Bible study at work?
Absolutely, yeah.
A lot of students go like, man, I couldn't possibly interpret. Well, you could. And then we have some elective options, and then we always finish with a theology course that biblical studies and theology are two different things. One is, what does this text say? And the other is, what has the church and what have others said about God for centuries? And they're different ways of tackling life and understanding a worldview.
Absolutely. Love that.
Yeah.
So I know obviously at Jessup we do a lot of things about internships and things like that. It seems like, at least from what I know, there's a big thing for mentorship in this role. And obviously with leadership, that's huge. You want to be led, you want to be shepherded, so you can do that as well. So you can tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, we have students do mentorships, maybe their junior or senior year,
Okay.
and they are all over the place. I did a mentorship with a gal. She was part of the class in the fall where she was doing a mentorship in Southern California. We Zoomed her in.
Wow, love it.
So put the laptop at the end of the table. The rest of us are around the table, and she participated with a non-profit organisation down there. We have students doing mentorships with Youth for Christ and parachurch organisations.
Cool.
A lot of them in churches, some of them here on campus because we have 100 plus
Right.
student leaders on campus,
Of course,
right?
why not? Yeah.
So why not take advantage of that as well? So anywhere they can find a leadership place, which is just about anywhere, we will turn that into a learning experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
So I guess in your mind, what distinguishes the idea of mentorship versus internship? Is there more of a focus on that kind of professional development and personal discipleship and growth that you would maybe not see in other programs?
No, we got a little disillusioned with internships.
Sure.
Because internships often have been send the student out in the summer and hope it goes well, and we'll hear from them at the end. And gee, how did it go? And they go, not so well. And we go, oh well, did you hang in there? Yeah, here's an A. Right? It's like, it wasn't a great experience. So the mentorship, we said we're going to split the students' time between their on-site supervisor and an on-ground faculty member here. I happen to be doing a little bit of that at this point in my life. So 1 week they meet with their on-ground supervisor to say, here's what's going on, here's how I'm feeling, what I'm experiencing, help me through it.
Yeah.
And then every other week they meet with me and their peers here on campus for mentoring. So it's peer mentoring, it's faculty mentoring.
Love it.
So that if there's a problem, we're not waiting 3 months to discover it.
Yeah.
I will know within 2 weeks if there's a problem.
Sure.
And we can address it and fix it. We think it's a better and stronger model.
Yeah.
Well, that definitely sounds like strong leadership even in itself. The fact that you're not waiting till the end, but you're constantly doing that. Like you're living that out even what you're doing, which is great.
We certainly hope so. Yeah,
Love that.
Yeah,
It's good.
Yeah.
So for a student, and we kind of ask this to all of our guests, who comes into Jessup undecided, and I think more and more with kind of the changing landscape of college, a lot of students just aren't sure what they want to do.
Yeah.
So for a student that comes in that is undecided, what practical things does a bachelor's degree in theology, biblical studies, Christian leadership, what can those programs provide for a student who maybe doesn't know? Why would that be a good choice for the student?
Oh, so Bib studies and theology, start there real quick. I'd say that would be a great choice for an undecided student because this is really going to give them a grounding in a Christian worldview. That no matter what they do in life, this is going to affect their marriage and their family. And when that comes around, it's going to affect their employment. It's going to affect their relationships. It's going to affect everything.
Right.
They will see life differently with a degree like that. The leadership degree, oh my goodness, it's what you're saying, Ian.
Yeah.
It really doesn't matter where you go. Church, parachurch, non-profit, business in the community, become a teacher, become a whatever. Everybody's in a place of influence and leadership. There's nobody for whom this isn't helpful. So if you came in undecided, I'd say, hey, jump into a leadership degree because it will just set you up for the rest of your life.
Sure. It's applicable anywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I love it.
Yep.
So one other question that just came to the top of my mind that I think would be good to kind of give some insight on is Jessup is unique in that it does not require its students to be Christians to attend.
Right.
Yeah.
But we do require spiritual aspects to be lived out while you're here and abiding by the community covenant and things along those lines. How do you guys, being that you're going to have potentially non-Christians diving into a Bible and theology minor, how do you approach new believers, non-believers, doubtful believers?
Yeah, graciously.
Sure. Sure.
Right?
Best
In a word,
answer.
Because we know that's the reality.
Yeah.
And we have students arriving who have grown up in Christian homes and students arriving who have never been exposed to Christianity at all.
Right.
They didn't even know it was a Christian university.
Sure.
But they've arrived for one reason or another on our doorstep, and we have this amazing diversity, and so the faculty are very sensitive to that.
Right.
And we want to work with them on that. And I would say that the Christian understanding is not a prerequisite to success here at Jessup.
Sure. Sure. I love that.
I love that. And it's also really cool that no matter what a student's doing, they get to kind of cross your threshold a little bit. They get to enter into your world a little bit.
We love that too.
Which is wonderful. You get a little bit of everybody. Everyone gets a little bit of David Timmons, which is great. Our last question for you, we want to ask all of our guests this because it's a great question and we'd love to hear what you have to say, and maybe it might be something you've already said, but we would like to know, what is your favorite thing about Jessup?
Oh, I don't have one favorite thing.
Mm.
I love the community. I think a lot of us would say that, right?
Yeah.
Faculty, staff, students,
Absolutely.
great community.
Mm-hmm.
I love, here's what I love most, I think. I love our mission statement, which will sound odd because
like
most
that.
people don't even know
Yeah,
a mission statement, right?
What is it?
I don't know what it is. No, I do.
Perfect.
I do know.
Let's go find it out.
In partnership with the church, we exist to educate transformational leaders for the glory of God.
Love it.
And I love that because
Yeah.
it says who we do it with, who we do it for. We do it with the church, we do it for the glory of God. And what is it we're doing? Educating transformational leaders. And
Good.
I can give my life to that.
It's great.
Yeah.
I
Let's
love
finish
that.
on that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sounds good.
All right.
Well, David, thank you so much for being here. We're so blessed to have you here and so excited to see all the new students that we get and that you'll get to meet as well. Thank you for listening or viewing this. Wherever you view or watch or just consume this content, please like, subscribe, share it with your friends. If you have any questions, please send them to us. We would love to hear from you. If you'd like to know more about Jessup or about David Timms, about Christian leadership or any of that, please go to our website at jessup.edu. We'd love to answer any questions and talk with you. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. See you next time.